to Dare to Disagrees, ladies and gentlemen, your weekly episodic podcast that skipped last week, where we teach you exactly what you're doing wrong and how to make it perfect by talking about it between each other. So it works. Anyway, I'll be your host slash not host this week, Jonathan Esther.
That was the worst fucking intro I've heard in my life.
It was terrible. I've had better.
But this is Glow in the Dark, and that's all you need. Ah!
I mean, public
Oh, wow.
master.
All right, Puppet Master, and that's the gang. And today we have some interesting tidbits of conversation. I believe you guys are gonna dig. Wait, what were we just talking about a second ago? Oh yeah. Let me finish the one we had started but didn't finish because we wanted to finish it on the show. So, Texas wanted to secede because Obama was black.
That was your statement, yes.
That was, you had a counter.
The counter is that they never said, "Hey, we don't want to be a part of this because he's a nigger and he's in charge. We don't want that." That never happened. So I would like to point out that the idea of succeeding has always been part of Texas, real big since 1990 on. 2000, 2004, 2012. So this is nothing new. It has nothing to do with being black. It's the way they feel that the country is actually being ran. If you read up on anything that talks about Texas and seceding from the union, so you should probably check that before you go making these. You know what? Screw that. You should go work for Al Sharpton. You're real good at this race baiting bullshit.
All right, so let me ask you a real question.
Here's my question.
So, how many petitions had they signed for the other presidents?
They actually, petitions in general, or are you talking about what? What are you talking about?
Well, we're talking about, they made a petition when Obama became president, and they had a whole bunch of signatures. Had they done that before?
Yes, they have.
At which president's election did they do that? I want to look it up because I'm curious.
Now, understand the movement to secede from the union in 2012 came before the presidential election even happened.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the re-election, it didn't happen in 2008. So if they were going to do it because he's black, it would have been then, not when he got re-elected, or not when he's possibly got re-elected. That wouldn't make sense. So that statement,
actually, it would. It would.
Why wouldn't they do it in 2008 when he first got elected?
Because it would make sense if you're saying, "Oh, okay, this is a fluke. The people got misled and they elected this black guy. Let's see what he does." Okay, black guy fails miserably. All right, so they're not going to redo this mistake. That would be ridiculous.
They would have, in your words just now, they did it because he failed miserably and not so much that he was black.
Well, then what matters?
Bush. Here's my question, though. I think you're misunderstanding my point. When I say he failed miserably, I'm saying
I just know which way you're going with it.
No. Here's the point I'm making. I'm saying that this was the first time I'd seen a public announcement of Texas trying to secede immediately after a presidential election.
It wasn't after, it was before. They started it before. The petition started before the election in 2012. Before, not after. Before.
Okay.
2012 presidential election. Bumper stickers and signs saying secede began appearing in Texas. The election
after
wave of petitions on the White House, We the People website. While the Texas petition was not the first to appear, it overtook those in the other states with over 125,000 signatures, well above the 25,000 trigger response. Petition stated the succession would protect the original ideas and beliefs of the founding fathers, which would no longer be reflected by the federal government. Defend abuses of rights. So here's the truth. Texas has talked about seceding for a while. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I know that.
Mistaken belief on their part that there's something special in their state constitution that allows them to secede. That's
actually there's actually something in the federal constitution that talks about seceding from the union.
There's nothing behind it. I mean, I've looked it up before because I heard this talking it, and when you actually look at the legal aspect, there's nothing there special for Texas. They're called a republic, which there's another. I can't remember which other state it is. That's a republic. but it gives them no power to secede. It's a difference in verbiage, but the power to secede is not there. Okay? Well, while they've talked about this, and while it has been small pop-ups every now and then, fuck it, we're giving all the rest of the country this, we can survive as our own country, blah, blah, blah. It had never been as powerful.
As powerful. And that's kind of my point I was trying to get him. I was trying to get you to say, when was the last presidency they done that at?
Well, they have done it, but not to that degree. So you can't, all right, so, you know, when was the last time you took a shit? Was it that big every time you took a shit? No, it wasn't. So you can't make a judgment off of how many people were involved. However, it did happen before. All right. The other thing is that, Alan, you said during the election this happened, right? Or was it post-election?
Post-election.
No. They started a petition before the election happened.
Well, this is when it got anywhere.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Here's why I say you're wrong on the whether it was post or pre. They started that, the fervor for it got crazy once he won. When they realized he got reelected, that's when I recall the fervor being at pitch craziness.
And it can't possibly be because
they had like 1,000 or 2,000 signatures. Afterwards, apparently, it was 125,000. So,
right. So answer this. Is it because he's black then, or is it because, holy shit, the guy who's failed for 4 years actually got reelected?
Failed what? By what?
Now,
okay, as opposed to Bush. And that's kind of where my point always comes in. We all kind of agreed Obama has not lived up to the standards anybody really had for him. Fans or non-fans. That's not arguable. But then again, we could argue that no president has ever lived up to the standards. Personally, Clinton lived up to all my standards when he got his dick sucked. He's my president for life. But not the point. The point is
that's where your standards really don't matter at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I said like I'm not defending. Whoa, wait a minute. Can I finish?
You can, but
wow.
You just admitted that your point of view on this particular topic is stupid.
No, I said my point of view on Clinton. Jesus, can I finish? I said I support Clinton because he got his dick sucked. So my point of view on Clinton doesn't stand. That was my point. If I could finish though, the point I was making is this: we all agreed, everybody aside from pundits, that Bush failed the country on a crazy level, including lying us into a war, which is a fact. That's not a myth or an assumption. We've proven now.
All right, who's proven that before you go there? Yes, all right, you're telling me there was no...
They said there were weapons of mass destruction, right?
Oh my God, man. Here.
Dude, you interrupted me while I was talking, and you're acting like I'm interrupting you. It's kind of funny.
No, I'm not. I'm stopping myself because there are things that you just will never know.
Hold on, I'll stop and you'll correct me. This is why we have these conversations. You educate me. I love it.
There are things you will never know that no one's going to be allowed to ever tell you.
Maybe that's the same for Obama then.
Right.
Let me finish. Okay, why is it? Never mind. Let me finish. Let me finish the point because we're drifting away from my point. This is becoming a semantics thing. My point is this. We agree, and I'm basing that fact on the fact that they said we went to Iraq because of weapons of mass destruction, and there were none. And it was proven later on in reviews, on paper, that there were never any to begin with.
And that we knew that.
And we knew that. That has been categorically proven. If I need to find the proof, I'll find the proof and prove it to you. But the point I'm making is, so that's a failure on his part. And nobody talked about secession then. What had Obama done so drastically bad that secession was necessary with him?
So your statement that it never happened.
What never happened?
That they tried to secede from the Union because of Obama, or
that they tried to secede from the Union that hard after any other president. That's my point.
They tried in 2000. They did.
After which president?
Well, it was elected in 2000, asshole.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Can we look up the election and see whether they tried to secede
Well,
immediately after
let's
that?
see. You count backwards. Let's see. The current president is who? And he got reelected to win.
It was Bush.
Hold on.
I'll
We could
help
just kind of look it up, man.
I'm trying to help him.
I'm on my phone.
Come on, just walk it through this.
All right, sure. Walk me through it, please.
All right. So what year did Obama get elected?
That was 3 years ago, right?
That was a re-election, just in
Yep.
2012. All right.
Okay, 12.
So before that, he was there again, right? And he got reelected in what year?
2008.
All right. And who was the president before that?
Bush. So, and he was in for 8 years.
Oh, look at that. So 2000. So right when Bush got elected, Texas tried to secede from the Union as well, which is kind of fucked up.
All right.
But,
No, hold on. And that's why I'm curious. So did they? Can we find that out right now?
hold on.
Because I do not remember them trying to secede then.
They did it in the 90s. How old were you in the 90s? Do you remember that shit? No, you don't.
I remember Texas always talking about secession, but I've never heard it as crazy as after Obama's reelection.
No, see, they've done it many times over, and you're saying specifically this one, you're only going to take into account how crazy it was. They've always been doing it.
They've always talked about it, but why was it so...
I don't disagree that the level that they went to, that we should just ignore that. We're talking about 2,000 or 3,000 people talked about it in fucking Texas, our biggest, well, second biggest state in the union.
Yeah.
To 125. You know, that's like comparing hey, there's crazy fucking Christians everywhere because look at the Westboro Baptist Church. No, that's not fair.
Westboro Baptist is crazy.
If all Christians, or if 125,000 fucking Christians started going crazy and doing, veterans or fags and shit like that, then maybe we have a problem, okay? But trying to pretend that, these small groups, small fucking, largely racist groups, by the way, if you look up those groups before Obama, they were pretty fucking discriminatory, okay? I
mean, this is Texas. That comes with Texas.
In those groups before fucking the 125,000, okay? Here's another little thing that I think you guys might like, okay? And it kind of goes in with this whole issue here. Did you guys hear about them thinking about replacing Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill?
Yeah, with the lady. What's her name?
Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman. Yeah, I saw that.
Now it's an interesting choice. I mean, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna fucking spend it anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's where I looked at it. I was like, it's fucking money. I don't care.
But can you guys give me a good reason that is a completely un-American idea?
Un-American, no. But what's the purpose in doing it in the first place? What's wrong with the $20 bill? Is because there's a white dude on it?
Well,
no.
Well, then why
they're just changing a name.
Hold on.
Why change it at that point?
Why not? I think that's kind of what's confusing to me. Is like, why not change it, sir? It's still going to be a $20 bill.
You've had your name for how many years, Dave?
Some odd years.
I'm going to change your name. You live in what city? Carlton.
Are you saying Are you comparing my name to a $20 bill?
We're going to change the name of the city that you live in right now.
Hold on.
Why?
You're kind of here's why you're mistaking that. You're making a mistake. You're making a mistake here. Changing my name, my identity is in my name. The identity of a city is in a name. It's kind of like when they took the Ravens, when they took the Colts or the Browns? The Browns.
They took the Browns and moved to Baltimore, yes.
Yeah, they took the Browns out of Baltimore. That was a stab in the back of Baltimore because they had an identity with the Browns. Do we have an identity with the $20 bill?
I'm not talking about identity. I'm talking about something that's been around for a while.
No, you said my name, and I'm telling you the difference between my name and a $20 bill. I have an identity in my name.
Okay. All right.
Do we have an identity in the $20 bill?
I was practicing, your form of extremism. My bad.
What form? You still haven't explained to me why the huge jump in numbers when Obama was reelected. That still hasn't been explained. You've said that I'm being.
Okay.
You're saying I'm being erroneous in the sense that they've always done this. That was
Right.
just a sudden flare up that happened out of nowhere.
No,
My
it didn't
counter.
happen. But you guys already said it. You guys already
No,
said
no,
it.
no, 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 no. We've said that they've always had pockets of this kind of resistance about
No.
secession. I'm pointing out that that pocket flared up extremely
Hey,
after his reelection.
what happened to Harriet Tubman? I was gone for 2 minutes.
Oh no, 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 no! We're coming. we're coming
coming
back
back
to
to
Harry. We're coming back to Harriet Tubman. I was just making kind of a quick point before I came back.
Right. No, no,
What
no,
I'm
no,
saying is,
point.
and here's the difference between your perspective and my perspective. I'm saying I think a big reason for that jump in numbers, which is a situation that's always been, but that jump in numbers hadn't occurred in my memory, and as far as I could tell in history.
Okay.
And you haven't told me yet that no, there's this other instance in history where the numbers jumped that drastically.
And you may be absolutely right. Here's the problem: is that Alan, Alone in the Dark, already read off exactly why they want to secede from the Union. And
Yeah.
is that necessarily wrong? And that movement started literally. It did start before the election happened. All right. That movement has always been there. They've made that statement. They made the petition. It had names on it. Then he got reelected. And the guy, oh my God, the guy who literally we just thought is never going to get reelected because he fucked shit up so bad, got reelected. Hey, you know, we got to do what we got to do. Sign that fucking petition. So
Agreed.
think about it that it's possible. Think about it that it's possible that it legitimately has nothing to do with race and has everything to do with his political policies.
Now here's
As opposed to who?
It's possible. You can't compare that to anybody else. You got to talk about right fucking now.
If we're talking about right fucking now, I find it extremely suspicious that when the black president was reelected, this movement out of a state which is kind of known for some racist tendencies had a jump in wanting to leave the country of the black president. Am I saying that it's impossible I was wrong? No. But you still haven't explained that jump in numbers. I'm just saying, just like your theory.
I have.
No.
Like my theory.
No. Because I told you, what about Bush? What about when Bush happened? That was also considered a categorical failure of a presidency. There was no jump in numbers then. What about Nixon? When Nixon went through his thing. Now, I don't know if the movement goes that far back. Now, how that's
the thing, okay?
Yeah.
But okay. Number one, we're never going to be able to prove which way, okay? Of course, the Texans didn't come out and say, yeah, we're leaving because he's black, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that there wasn't a whole lot of good reasons through Obama's presidency that give to people who want to fucking go. Also, what Charlie's saying, or what freaking Puppet Master is saying, that they could be leaving for totally political reasons, could also very well be true because fucking Obama was made into a goddamn antichrist by conservative freaking media, okay? Texas
that is true.
Notoriously conservative, okay? Ridiculously fucking conservative. Even if they weren't racist in a little bit, if they're sitting there watching Fox News, they're not going to hear about, hey, this is how hard Bush fucked us, okay? They're going to hear, this is what Obama's doing. He's destroying our lives. Obamacare is going to kill your grandma. You guys remember all those bullshit theories that people were saying that none of them came true? This is what this is all about, you know? Obama's a super socialist. Yeah, that's why he's fucking bunkering down with a bunch of fucking corporations making a deal that nobody's allowed to see. Yeah, he's a real fucking super socialist here, okay? Great. But if they believed that bullshit they were getting from Fox News, and there's a lot of truth to it, okay? I'm not a fucking fan of Obama myself, then they could have wanted to leave just on the politics of the matter, okay?
True.
Now, do I think that there isn't some level of racism? I think so, but I can't. There's no way I could really fucking hammer it down.
Which goes back to my original statement, is that you can't make that statement without looking at yourself and say, God, I'm a fucking idiot. Because you made a blanket statement that you made a blanket statement that Texas wanted to leave the Union because Obama was black. That was what you said, just like that.
Yeah.
Now think about it.
Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll concede.
Hold on. Let me make one more point, and then you can say
Go
whatever
ahead.
you want. Because all right. So trust me. At this point, if Texas was going to secede from a union for the reason that he is a black man as a president, they would have done it in 2008, not 2012. All right. The fact that it waited in 2012 tells me that it's not strictly on race. Maybe there is some hint of race in it, but I will tell you the majority of it probably came from what Simone Dark just said. They watch a certain news forum. Right? You know what? They get certain information, and they press the envelope when they realize that what they have been brainwashed for the last 4 years about this man has come true. Then he's back. Fuck that. And that's more likely what happened than the fact that he was black. Because if it was because he was black, it would have happened in 2008.
Now, that's why I want to go back to Harriet Tubman. Because now I understand what's the reason to change it. Well, we change the coins all the time. We've changed these bills all the time. And I really don't see any reason why not to change the fucking...
Do we change who's on them?
Yeah. Now, the bills
we have?
Oh, not on the bills, on the coins. Yeah, not on the bills.
You know, which in all honesty, I kind of wish we could go...
What coin changed? What coin changed?
Sacagawea. You remember the fucking dollar?
Yeah.
Right, but that was a commemorative cycle. That's not permanent like that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
We get Sacagawea coins at my job all the time, man.
Really? You still get those?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the time. There are a ton of them out there.
They're the only $1 piece minted since it came out. What, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't deal in coins, man. Just dollar bills.
I fucking love coins. Here's your tip, bitch. Bing. You know.
All right. Here's what I'll...
Until they realize you dropped $20 and Sacagaweas on the table.
Damn, that would be... By the way, I've had people do that. It's fucking terrible. But here's what I'll say, right? And this will link me right back into the Harriet Tubman like we're at. I'll concede that my verbiage was wrong. What I should have said was, I think most of the reason they did it, why Texas did what it did, was because he was black. And I think the only reason they haven't been able to is because they're technically not allowed to. I think they are, but they're not allowed to. I think that's kind of a running gag with them. If they could have, they would have during his presidency, but they didn't because they can't. But how that... Yep.
With 125,000 signatures, there's 27 million people in Texas. Okay.
True.
So they haven't really had the push to do it either. You know, I mean,
true.
If it was 90% and they didn't get to go, then we could really sit and say, okay, yeah, these fuckers are just, biting at the bit. I mean, that's 0.5% of the population.
God damn, that's terrible.
So,
all right. So how does this link back into my Harriet Tubman?
How this
links back
Harriet Tubman is because only one political party that I've seen so far has a problem with it, and I can't seem to nail it down. Like, there's been a bunch of just random fucking threads. Like, I was reading the comments on a conservative site, just, well, this is just another reason I'm never going to use cash. Okay.
What? Okay. You got to trade Fox first, you fucking idiot.
The only who should be on the bills is dead presidents, except for Benjamin Franklin, who was never a president.
Yeah, he was never a president, yeah.
Who was never a president, That's never been a requirement, So why, here's my point is, I can see your reasoning of why the fuck change it. I mean, I think it's an interesting thing. I think it's kind of a security concern is why they've changed the shape and everything like that. It is nice for them to be able to change. That's why they're always going through and changing the shit. It isn't a big deal for them to put a new picture when they're changing everything about the fucking bill anyways,
Mm-hmm.
But my point is why is there a reason against Harriet Tubman? Let's say we're going to change it, okay? What is the reason against Harriet Tubman?
All right, I don't. Here's, and I may be right up the alley you're talking about. My problem isn't putting Harriet Tubman on it. Why the fuck change it in the first place? Well, is something wrong with it? Something wrong with the coin I didn't know about?
It was a bill. It's a $20
No,
bill.
they just no,
Oh,
no,
you
the
play
coin.
on
He's
bill,
talking
never
about
mind.
the
Sorry, I thought you were talking about
Sacagawea.
coin. Yeah,
No, there's nothing wrong with the Sacagawea coin. It's just, but I see your point.
I love that coin, by the way. I got a brick of them over here. It's never circulated. So,
He does. He like you. You are a fan of coins. I know that. I've been in your house.
so, um, so
Now,
if we're gonna change the bill, if we're already gonna change the bill, I don't care who the fuck goes on it. I really don't.
Yeah.
Now, here's the test. If they're against changing the bill and putting anyone other than who's on it already, then I can't say that it's for any other reason that they're OCD like me. All right. However, if they were to suggest putting, Steve Jobs on it, if they weren't against putting Steve Jobs on it, but they're against Harriet Tubman, yeah, I think we got an issue here.
yeah, and that a lot of people are saying there's very few. Matter of fact, I think you're the first one I saw that was complaining about changing the bill. Everybody else is complaining about it's supposed to be presidents. I'm not gonna freaking use this money. It's freaking disgusting. Blah blah blah. This is the shit I'm seeing. Now, my thing is, Harriet Tubman. I don't know of anything that you could really say she did X wrong. Okay, Andrew Jackson, the guy who's on it, you could go through a fucking list of shit.
Oh yeah.
The dude disobeyed Congress's orders and went to go commit a genocide against fucking Indians. Okay, he was a known fucking disgusting racist. Okay, he committed all kinds of fucking crimes during his presidency and before.
Right.
There's reasons to take him off. Okay, and not just the shitty little reasons like, oh my God, when everybody owned slaves, George Washington also owned slaves. We need to fucking kick him out. Okay.
Huh?
You know what? That's kind of a stupid fucking reason, okay? But I could see a good reason to take Andrew Jackson off. I just don't see any reason other than you're a racist to be disgusted that Harriet Tubman's coming off. And I've gone through and looked it up. Like, is there any controversy with her?
Nope.
Did she fucking
Right, no.
a little kid at some point, and that's why people are disgusted with her? I can't find anything.
The question is, on my point, what is the reason for picking her of all people?
Well, they put it up to a vote. It went on.
Yeah, they did. There was a vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they had a whole number of, different people and stuff like that, and she's the one who won, which is kind of surprising to me. She does.
Me too. When I heard the vote, I didn't think she was gonna get it.
And that is surprising me. I don't know who else was up for the that you could have voted for, but
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now.
I'd like to know that because I think. I know she has influential movements and who she is and all that crap. It's not crap, but I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, there are way more influential people that should have that opportunity, that honor, black, white, Hispanic, doesn't really matter, that did actual more that represent more of what America's really about,
I don't know, man.
Our dream of what America's about.
I'm willing to bet that a big reason is she's a double minority. Okay?
Oh, I could, yeah.
Which just on that alone, I really don't have a problem with that because it's kind of a difficulty right now considering all we have is a bunch of old white men on our money. And we're saying that this is a melting pot nation. You see what I'm saying? Like, if it was equal, okay, if we go through it, hey, there's fucking 80% white people, 15% black, 5% Hispanic, and our bills were matching the population, then I would be like, man, don't quit being a fucking bitch and trying to freaking get a double minority in here. Just find somebody that's, having an equal vote of, potential people. But considering there has never been a woman or a freaking African American on this goddamn bill, I don't have a problem. And that's kind of another issue. Like, Dave's talked about voting for Obama just because he was black, okay? Because he was the first, the first black guy. In all honesty, even though I don't like that idea of voting for somebody just on the color of their skin, you do have a big issue with, 25% of Americans can't really, like, if somebody, like, let's say it was back in the fucking 1990s, if some lady's black kid came to her and said, I want to be president, you can't really go and, oh, you can do whatever you want to, fucking Timmy.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're
But
not a white.
Sure, you can lie to that kid.
And here's the funny part. To this day, if my kids want to be president, there's no shot. You think
now,
at any time anybody with a fucking Pakistani descent, even if it's only 1/4 like it's them, is gonna have a shot?
Look, I would vote for Kyrie, but Aries, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure.
we gotta give Aries. You guys gotta give Aries till his teens, man. Give him a chance.
I mean, the guy was
Let him
resisting
process him. Let him process.
How old is he? 7?
Yep.
Resisting arrest at 7.
Arrest at 7. I don't think that's okay.
He paid for that shit. That's kind of my point, and it is kind of a deal. Like, remember when we were talking about last show, voting for Hillary just because she's a woman, okay? I do not want to see Hillary Clinton as president, okay? But I do want to see a woman as president. I think it's completely embarrassing. 4 out of the 5 most populous Muslim countries have had women freaking, the leader of their fucking country. Whether it's president or prime minister or whatever it is, they've had them there. Here's us as Americans thinking, look at how these fucking Islamic people treat their women. They're electing them to fucking president. We still haven't done it.
Now here's kind of an interesting thing that kind of floats in there. Part of what you're saying is part of the reason for my whole first thing. That was kind of a big thing. That's why, because ultimately, and that's what I was trying to explain last time. The way I look at it, no matter who has been voted in, Democrat or conservative, they always tend to cater to the most money. So the country hasn't really had a drastic shift depending on which party or partisanship takes the freaking country. But this kind of tags into everything we've been talking about in the sense of I've recently been having conversations about racism, and I find myself quoting an experience me and Alone in the Dark had to showcase a really important thing that I've been trying to tell people, which is I think we need to find a way to redefine racism. Because I think racism, as we talk about it nowadays, is to consciously have a bias against someone. Actually, I might need you to look it up Alone in the Dark for me just to see. But if I recall correctly, it's consciously having a bias against someone due to their race, right? Like consciously affecting your choice or whatever due to someone's race.
It's something like that, yeah. Believe that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races.
Good. I think we need to redefine that. And here's the reason why. I think nowadays, racism is so entrenched in our culture. Again, just like people make the argument that minorities have generations of downtrodden and all that nonsense to overcome, I think Caucasians have generations of racism to also overcome. I actually think that's an issue. Which brings me to where I'm going with this, which is I think racism nowadays is much more of a subconscious thing than it is a blatant thing. We know our blatant racists, and we all know those people are horrible, but I think subconsciously way more people are racist than they know. And the story I always quote to make my example is what me and Alone in the Dark experienced when we went surfing. Now, I think I told you the story, didn't I, Puppet Master?
I know this story. I know every story about you surfing. And,
yeah.
The best was the supposed shark that was chasing you.
I don't. It bothers me that it bothers me that your favorite story was the one where I almost died. That kind of hurts. But whatever.
It's funny that you were the only one left in the water.
We all had a chance to get out. I just happened to suck at swimming more than everybody else. That's all. But yeah. This is where the race thing could kick in.
It's cool.
Hey, I swam out of there. I'm making a point. But anyway, I still got out. The point I'm making is this.
Is he was the one of us that looked the most like a seal.
I sure did. I sure did. I'm not gonna lie about that. But here's what I will say: for people that don't know the story, me and Alone in the Dark went surfing a bunch of times, and I noticed. And Alone in the Dark, correct me here. I'm sure my memory is faulty in places, but we went.
Days straight.
We went surfing, and we surfed a couple times, and I kept noticing a certain trend, which I automatically started kind of assuming was racist. And the trend was every time we'd get in the water, all of a sudden, within 10 minutes, it was just us, me and Alone in the Dark, in the water in that spot. And at first, I blamed my terrible surfing on it, which was a valid thing to blame it on. But the more I thought about it, the more I went, I don't know, man. There are a bunch of other terrible surfers out there. They seem to be sticking to crowds. So one day, I pointed out to Alone in the Dark, and Alone in the Dark goes, now, there's no way, dude. That you're kind of being paranoid, whatever. And I go, well, let's do the social experiment. So we go in the water. We're in there for 10 minutes, and before we know, when we walk in, we pick one of the crowded areas. We go in, and in 10 minutes, we're all by ourselves. To which Alone in the Dark goes, get the fuck out of here. There's no way that's what's going on right now. Well, let's try it again. So we get out, we walk to another distance, and get back in the water, and the same thing reoccurs. Now, when I've been telling that story to people, I tell them, I don't even think the people that were leaving us knew they were doing it intentionally. I think they just kind of something in them just said, I just want to move. If you asked them, I'm sure if I had asked them immediately after that, they would have been like, no, I just wanted to move. I just wanted to go to a different spot. They couldn't pinpoint why. And I'm sure they have black friends. I'm sure they have all the whole thing. But I think it's so ingrained in our culture that there are certain things that are going to happen regardless. Like if a white guy in a hoodie or a black guy in a hoodie are walking behind a woman, the woman, probably white, is going to clutch her purse tighter if it's a black guy than it's a white guy.
Now, here's something I want to add to that story just to clear things up is when you're out surfing, there's actual rules. Now, of course, they're all unwritten rules and stuff like that.
Mike wants an invite.
There's only certain good spots where the waves are, okay? So
Mike wants an invite.
Oh. So you have to take kind of turns doing that shit, right? But it's just how the shit works. If there's only one or two good spots for waves, there's a bunch of people freaking wanting to get on the waves and shit like that. So this is how it works. So these people were giving up the good spots for waves for us to get on water.
Well, that crushes my next point. That maybe you guys just suck at finding the waves at the right time.
And you might have a point to that, but that's why we would keep looking for the crowded locations. That's why when we did it the first time, we got out, walked into another crowded location, and went back in. Would I call those people racist? That's where I'm kind of having a point of...
I think if you call them racist, you are only perpetuating the cycle of racism.
But they were clearly acting, because if Alone in the Dark went in there alone, which he did a bunch of times, it didn't happen when he did. Right, it only happened when I joined him.
All right, so check this out. By broadening the label for racism, all you're doing is also broadening the ability for someone to cry racism, which turns out to be race baiting, and causing more division amongst races.
But herein lies the problem with that statement. Without broadening the topic of racism, that occurred. Okay. Without it being a broad thing, it's something that occurred not once, not twice, but on several occasions over a long period of time. We're talking months of this happening. This wasn't something I noticed out of nowhere. It's something I noticed over a long period of time. It took a while for me to even turn to Alone in the Dark and point it out as, hey, am I crazy or is this happening?
All right. I understand. And I do. No, I understand. But here's the thing. All right. Stereotypes tend to have truth to them. And generally, it's because at some form or another, the race that is being stereotyped has helped perpetuate that cycle. All right.
I'm sure.
So when I'm on the south side of Chicago at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm fucking running fucking red lights to make sure that I don't have to stop so I don't get fucking mugged. Is that self-preservation or is that racism?
I think it's self-preservation. I think it's very
Okay,
much self-preservation.
so off of experience and off of, stereotypes that have been validated at some point or another and what they see across the world, they are making judgments of now I can't say that choosing a different surfing spot has anything to do with self-preservation.
And that's literally where I was going to go. I was going to go, how do you quantify that decision then?
I'm not saying that, but when you broaden it to that wide, you are literally saying that you, as an individual, me, I should not take my personal experience and the validated stereotypes, into consideration with the things that I do, because if I do, I'm automatically racist.
Here's the problem, though, okay?
Validated, that word.
What you're saying is pretending that this isn't negatively affecting people. Like, I'll give you an example. They did a study on this, okay? And I can't remember the actual name. It was kind of funny. The reason I read it is because it had bitch in it, which was an actual professional fucking study done. Okay. But what they were talking about, let's say here I am. I joined fucking corporation XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And I go in there and I say, listen, I want to move up in this company. I want to fucking get somewhere. I want to fucking own this company someday, okay? And I start pushing to get these fucking promotions, become a manager, this and that. As a man, people view that as, look how fucking determined this guy is.
We've talked about this, yeah.
If you take a woman, this same qualifications, same everything, and she does the exact same thing, people go, look at this fucking bitch, she just wants to run everything.
She's a ball-busting bitch, yeah.
So even though this is just people's thoughts, it is literally harming women's career chances of getting up into better places because they're a woman. So I understand what you mean by expanding this, but it does need to be expanded when it's negatively affecting.
It needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed of what it is. Is that racism? No, that's sexism. All right. So now you need to focus in on what sexism is and change that. All right.
Now
that's a different story. So when you talk about racism, all right, you can't. If you do make it that broad, literally, Dave, yourself, no matter whether you think so or not, you are going to be a racist. Just for the shit you say.
And I agree.
The black people and the white people, you will be a racist.
I absolutely agree.
Are you willing to open that door where everybody in the entire world, including my 8-year-old or 9-year-old daughter, is a fucking racist?
I am glad you said that, because here's what I keep running into. I answer that question as yes. I take it as a challenge to better myself. Most Caucasians, not Asians, not Spanish, not black, Caucasians I speak to respond to that as no.
And here's another issue.
Unfortunately, the only person who has been benefiting from this kind of thing.
Right. Like, for example, the lazy Mexican stereotype we hear about all the time. Mexicans coming over here, living off welfare, they're just fucking slacking. Every fucking study that has been done shows that Mexicans work more hours and fucking more jobs than comparative Americans, whether white, black, especially black.
Especially black.
They're the hardest working fucking group we have. I think Asians give them a run for their money, and when you're looking at fucking nationality rankings like that.
But no, I agree with you on that. But I've never really hated
Mexicans, and laws are being written by people voting for people who want to expand this lazy Mexican fucking stereotype.
And my problem in all of this is, as I said, every time I've had this conversation, I wouldn't have had an issue if it was cross-boundary, everybody saying, well, look, you're kind of being ridiculous trying to broaden this thing. But no, almost every minority I've talked to says they're perfectly okay with it. They're perfectly being okay with that thing being broadened. Hilariously, the only majority of the people that I have who go against it are Caucasians. It's kind of like when the Baltimore thing occurred. Majority of the people that would say stuff like, "Hey, these guys are just thugs going out there to freaking vandalize stuff and make a big deal," were Caucasians. There were some African Americans, some Hispanics, obviously, but majority were Caucasians. And
Right.
most minorities would also say it's vandalism, but they would go, hey guys, there is kind of a reason, there's kind of a thing going on. What I'm trying to say is, I find as much concern in the need to broaden it. Because personally, I would love nothing more than to not have that as a thought in my head. But when the only person countering the thought is the only person I perceive to be getting advantage from a thought like that, it bothers me.
All right, so let me throw this out there. I'm probably gonna get some laughter
No,
and
no, no,
backlash
no,
from
no.
both of you.
Not at all, not at all, man. Go ahead.
Here's the thing: we are white guys are also the only race that is not allowed to cry racism for any means whatsoever. So
Well, in the U.S.
you're right.
I was just about to say.
If we were able to cry racism, then I would be all about that. But as a white man, I'm not allowed to complain about women. I'm not allowed to complain about race of any other race, or else I'm a sexist or racist. You know, I can't say anything other than, yeah, you're probably right. In order
Now,
to stay out of the realm of being a sexist or a racist. So,
and,
so
and I
you
understand.
do you understand why white people probably are going to be against the idea of broadening the term racist or racism, because that gives people more ammunition to look at the white guy and say, hey, you're a racist, when I can say, hey, you're a racist.
No, no, I absolutely agree with you, but this is where I kind of have a problem with this. It's the same way more white people, we've talked about this before, are shot by cops than black people, not minorities as a whole, but black people, Hispanic people, and Asian people individually. More white people are shot by cops. And yet, white people don't complain.
Well,
It's a major issue of something going on in their culture, and they don't complain. So, in that scenario, there is
Hold on.
hold on. In that scenario, there is a definite issue with police brutality against Caucasians, which Caucasians don't complain with. Most of the Caucasians I speak to say, I just assumed they probably had it coming. Fine.
Yeah.
So let's flip that script into what you were talking about. Give me instances of Caucasians being treated in a biased manner.
Are you serious? You know what?
Seriously.
Look, I'm not going to...
Don't drop it. Do not drop it without giving me an example.
No, I'm not going to drop it, but I'm not going to be the
Okay.
guy. I'm not going to be your guinea pig. Go find
No. I'm not asking you to be my guinea pig.
No,
If
I'm
you have a
telling
true
you.
story of racism towards Caucasians,
No,
put
I'm
it
gonna
forward.
tell you. I'm going to tell you how to fix this and change your perspective on white people. All right, but I will not be involved in this, and my personal experiences probably are not going to come out in this process. But here's the deal. All right, you need to find yourself a white man that's got a huge set of balls on him. All right, and then you take that guy. No, not for real, but in general, and take that guy who's willing to do this into, you know, Compton or South Chicago, and have him just everyday communication, walk down the street, hang out on the block. You just stand to the side and watch. Just watch what the fuck happens.
But here's the funny part. I don't have to, because I've seen it.
Okay, so you
can
that's
talk.
there.
You can no. You can talk. You can talk to cold conscience. There are tons of white people in the ghetto in Baltimore.
Did they grow up there? That's the question.
Yes,
See,
they did.
That's the difference.
Now, here's the funny part.
Hold on. He's accepted because he's been part of that community forever, Dave. Now, say me, who I know nothing of Baltimore, I can't walk down. They know I'm not from that area. They will treat me like I'm a dumb-ass white boy walking down the street, and don't tell me they won't, because I know they will.
And I'm telling you they won't, because we have kids from Owings Mills that come from the rich area to the hood to buy drugs. They won't. They see you as a source of income.
Because they're assuming I'll buy drugs, or what?
I'm willing to
literally
there's areas that a white person will be walking around, but I don't know if it's because he's white or because people can tell just by looking at him, rather than having to know him, that he's not where he's supposed to be. If a black person who everybody knew this guy isn't from here, he probably would be fucking just as liable to get that same ass whooping that's waiting for that white guy.
Okay? And that's very true.
So it's not because he's white, it's because he's obviously out of place. Okay, if some Asian person walks in that same neighborhood, they're probably gonna get an ass whooping. Okay. If
Now,
some fucking Muslim bastard walks
Look
in,
at it,
black
but
Muslim,
no,
some
let me
that is
probably
still
get an
a
ass
form of
whooping.
racism. If you think it's not, then you're wrong. Especially if you broaden the word racism or racist
no,
in the
and
level
here's
that
the
you
problem.
want Dave to do it.
Here's the problem I'm having. Anytime I get in this conversation and I ask a white guy, look, I'm a captive audience, tell me the story. Because I could tell you at least 5 stories from personal experience of something I know that is categorically racist.
All right.
I tell a white guy, tell me the story. And when we get into this, they don't have a story.
No,
They
no.
don't. And I'm
Here's
sure,
the thing.
here's the sad part about it. I'm sure there are the stories out there. Now, whether the stories happen at the extent of minorities or not is not even the point for me anymore. I just want to find the story. It's kind of like Alone in the Dark. Remember when we're going around looking for white racist jokes?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How many months did we spend before finding one?
Look, here's the thing,
It
Dave.
took months. Now, hold on. Let me
have-
finish real quick.
You not finished?
Now, I'm almost done.
I don't know where
Now,
you were going with that because it's
I
not like
was-
you're finished.
No, I was getting to. Oh, Jesus, you keep interrupting me. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting the point I was going to make. Now, you keep interrupting. The point I'm trying to make is this, right?
Come on, Dave.
See right there. The point I'm trying to make is this, right? Show me a neighborhood where a person isn't allowed to, a white man isn't allowed to walk down that neighborhood specifically because he's white. Because I know I can show you a neighborhood where a black man isn't allowed to walk down specifically because he's black.
DeSoto Bass, Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah. There's actually various parts of LA that you can't walk through.
I personally
I haven't seen him yet.
Furniture in Dayton, Ohio, and DeSoto Bass was my area, which was a fucking mistake because you know my mentality, you know who I am, and I'm a very tolerant person until shit gets ridiculous, and then I'm the guy who looks like an asshole because I'm being an asshole. So,
The Taco Bell incident.
yeah, so understand that, yes, there are plenty of neighborhoods in this country where being white is not acceptable just for walking down the street. There are, Dave, and you can say, show it to me, but look, all you gotta do is you can probably Google that shit and it's gonna come up with a list of them.
I want those stories. Those stories should be told.
All right, let's go back to this, Dave. I have a shit ton of stories about reverse racism.
Next time I see you, we're gonna have to sit down and you'll have to tell me.
Here's the deal. Those are my stories, my personal experiences, and I don't feel bitching about it is going to change a goddamn thing. It's not. You know what's going to change it? Me as a person being better than the people that were treating me that way. That's what's going to change it. And if you don't take that stance, you are never going to change the active racism in this country. You have to be better.
But unless you believe that it's not even happening.
If you interrupt me again, Dave. Got it? This ain't a
What are you talking about? He's talking and you don't freaking do anything about that. Why is it me getting the threats?
I'm going next and you jump in. Shut the
Oh, I didn't hear you say I'm going next. Go ahead.
Here's the issue, Puppet Master, that I'm seeing is, yes, I agree, there's neighborhoods that walking around as a white person would be dangerous. The reason, number one, if you take the amount of those neighborhoods compared to the size of the entire U.S. population, it's going to be almost statistically irrelevant, okay? Number two, the reason that it's dangerous for a white person is because of what the criminals are doing there. It's a very violent fucking neighborhood most times. Has a lot of criminals there most times. I mean, unless you have an example, I think it's all the fucking time. Okay? And criminals are the one forcing these freaking these rules here that we're talking about that a white person.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole rest of the U.S., it's not just criminal neighborhoods where a black person has to be worried about how they're going to be fucking treated.
You're right.
By the politicians, by the local populace. Okay, it's throughout the U.S. You can find white people who have had racism happen to them. Okay, you have a hard time finding a black person who hasn't.
Okay.
The percentages are
That's a very valid point. But I'm gonna throw a wild curveball at you, and this is probably gonna set Dave off, and he can talk for 20 minutes. All right. Here's the deal. All right. So just shits and giggles, let's think about those extremes. Most of the neighborhoods that a black person could not walk down in the middle of the street are probably very rich white neighborhoods that have a low crime rate.
or rural areas. Like my town, Angels Camp, California, that wasn't a rich area, and every time I saw a black person, they were pulled over.
All right, so the question is, what was the crime rate in that area?
Oh, we have like a.
All right, now let's talk about if you take it.
What is all that noise? Is it public? Is it co-conference?
It's not me. There's probably not a valid statistic out there anywhere to show, but the amount, like percentage-wise, of white neighborhoods that do not let black people walk down them, and then you got black neighborhoods that won't let white people walk down the street. The percentage is not out there. This is a guess. My percentage is they're probably going to be equal. As far as percentage of neighborhoods throughout the United States will probably be equal. Now, the problem with that is that there's more white people than there is black people, so the percentage is skewed. However, take into consideration the extremes. You're talking about finding a white neighborhood that has a high crime rate and doesn't let black people walk down the street. Well, that you're not going to find. You're not going to find that probably on any level, but you are going to find the extreme, which is a white, rich neighborhood with a low crime rate not wanting black people to walk down the street. And yes, that sounded racist as fuck. When I said
it sounded fairly factual.
I almost threw up in my mouth when I said it because I don't believe in this bullshit. However, let's talk about the extreme of the white guy walking down the black neighborhood, which is predominantly usually a high crime rate, predominantly black, and then you got the opposite, which is the neighborhoods that black people can't walk down the middle of the street would be a white rich neighborhood with a low crime rate. So the correlation there, to me, is obvious.
Here's the issue, though, is we're talking about these two locations, right? These predominantly black locations are high crime rate, low income areas. That doesn't seem like a fucking problem either.
No, it does. And I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm saying that the correlation of the racism that the black people are feeling in the neighborhoods that we're talking about are not the white high crime rate areas. They're accepted. You know why? Because they're participating probably in that crime too. All right, but then you go to the white rich neighborhood that has a low crime rate. You know what? They're not going to tolerate all that crap because they don't accept crime. They probably, you know what? A fucking ghetto ass white dude walking down the middle of that street is probably not going to be accepted just like a ghetto ass black dude walking down the street.
But that brings up another point of the crimes that we're looking at. Like you're saying, a rich neighborhood has a low crime rate because the police don't prosecute these people that do commit crimes. Okay, they showed in Ferguson. Okay, they were pulling over black people left and right to search them for drugs, even though percentage-wise there was more white people carrying drugs in their car. Okay, they ignored them and persecuted the freaking black citizens of their town. So now we got a high crime rate area because the persecuted them. We got people who are
Jesus Christ.
Because he smoked crack instead of cocaine. The kid doing cocaine was left alone while he was fucking thrown in jail for smoking crack. And now this cycle perpetuates. Okay? These little incidents that we're just supposed to do better alone aren't just...
Alone in the dark. You got to mute, Puppet Master. I'm having the hardest time hearing you.
It's not me. It's not me.
No, sorry. Cold conscience. I didn't mean to say Puppet Master. I'm sorry.
Here, man. I don't know what you're talking about. But all these little incidents, okay, from ditching out when freaking somebody's surfing, some black person surfing near you, to calling the cops when fucking you see some black people coming through your old town USA and they look suspicious, so you call the cops. All these add up to hold an entire race down to a level so they stay in these low crime, low fucking or high poverty areas and it just perpetuates.
Okay,
Ignoring
so
it and acting better than these people is not fixing the problem. I mean, if you have some proof that that would help fix it, I would love to see it, but I just don't see it that being an actual way to fix the problem is ignoring it and pretending all these racist things don't exist because we don't want to call everybody racist.
I didn't say ignore it, for one. I said don't broaden the term racist or racism because
We're
it
not.
only
We're
make it worse.
leaving the
No,
term
hold on.
right where it's at of looking down on another race, and this is exactly what's happening. Those surfers out there, we're looking down on another race and getting the fuck lost. Okay.
Well, and I understand that, but changing the verbiage of what racism is isn't going to change that either.
I don't.
It's not. All it's going to do is increase the divide between races because now even my 9-year-old daughter's a racist.
Where did the verbiage change? What you're asking is for the verbiage to change so that everybody's not considered a racist.
I'm not asking that. Dave said he wanted to change the definition of racist or racism to broaden the horizons of what could be considered racism.
That's just the fucking term has encountered all this shit the whole time. All this motherfucker. Right?
Jesus, I was about to say I cannot hear you guys, man. You think I'm kidding about that?
But the term has stayed the same.
Thank you.
Looking down on another race for whether factual, whether unfactual, is been it the whole time. Okay? Any instance of that. There's no limit, you know? If you would treat a white person like this much better, and you treat a black person this much better, that's racism as defined. Okay? So I don't see any reason why we need to change the verbiage now just to protect everybody because they don't want to have to look down and go, you know what, maybe I am a little bit racist.
Now, okay, that segue is actually pretty good into the parting shot. Unless, Co-Conscious, you got something to say?
I got, well, I do got one more thing.
All right, shoot, then we'll hit parting shots.
My belief that you have to be better than the people that are around you that are treating you this way is not just a personal white guy puppet master feeling and belief system, all right? I happen to have 3 black individuals that I work with, ranging from a low-ranking individual to a high-ranking individual, that all believe that the way to change the stereotypes, racism in this country against the black man, all stems from being better than the people that want to hold you down. All right, so it's not just all they did was validate how I already felt.
Gotta mute him again.
You know what I'm saying? So this isn't just a white guy saying, well, you gotta be better than that, and you'll get over it, and forget what they fucking do. That's not it at all. It's taking your experiences, learning from the experiences, make yourself a better person for those experiences, and rising above those personal experiences that you feel were meant to hold you down.
Okay, the 2 issues I have is, number 1, I need to see something other than this is what some people believe. Okay? I know.
I can't give you their names, you know that.
No.
Yeah.
No matter what their names are. Okay? I know their profession. Nothing about the profession makes them experts in this situation. Okay? If you could give me some peer-reviewed, hey, you know, not calling people racist, being bigger than that is going to make racism better, I understand. My other issue is just because you call people out on their racist tendencies doesn't mean you're not rising above it.
Right? No. You're right, and I think you're taking that out of context when I'm not saying not to call people out. I'm saying to change this country from the roots. You have to, as an individual, say what it is. You know me. I've never been the one to not say what is what. All right. Mm-hmm. However, you, no matter what, are responsible for changing the trajectory of your life, yours. And if you don't rise above the indifference, then you specifically are partially at fault for where you're at and what's going on in your life. And that goes for racism, that goes for poverty level. You have to try to better yourself in every aspect in order to succeed. And if you're not, then you can't blame that completely on society or racism or poverty or fucking gender. Some of that is you, and that is their belief, and mine as well. Is that you have to
killing
be
a dead
better
body?
than that.
I understand what you're saying, and I do agree. I mean, my opinion is fuck it. I'm gonna move forward anyways. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's awful easy for white people to say. Okay. And I'm not white, but I passed for white. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like anybody's ever. People harass me for my freaking non-white. It doesn't fucking bother me. I passed for white. Nobody's gonna not hire me because they think I'm not right. Okay, it's just how it is. My thing is, if you have two people
God.
have the same fucking energy, and one gets ahead and the other doesn't
Thank you.
because of the color of their skin, we have a problem that everybody has.
Hold on. Time out. Hey,
Yeah,
man,
just stop making whatever that noise is in the background, dog.
Stop having fucking sensitive fucking African ears and shut the fuck up. I'm sitting here, I'm moving shit, so that way if I have an input, I won't have to keep unmuting myself. You fuckers gonna have to deal with it. I really don't give a goddamn. First of all, where's the bitches at? That's gonna be my part shot for the day. Where's the fucking bitches at? And stop having such sensitive fucking African ears. I know you heard gunshots and fucking rhinoceroses and shit go off. So I'm pretty sure a few little bad shit like that won't fucking kill you, okay? Please don't leave me again, please. Thank you.
I love that he's yelling at. I love that he's yelling at me as if I control the mute button.
Still, you told him to keep muted. I mean, listen, the white people had no problem with it.
Oh, they had problems. They're saying that they had problems. They had problems.
Only goddamn African on the show, you got the most problems. Goddamn.
Man, whatever. Yo, 3 motherfuckers in here not making no noise. You better control your damn self.
Listen, I gotta fucking eat. Don't you gotta eat? I know the Mexicans eat over there, don't they?
Motherfucker, I was eating through this thing. You didn't hear a peep.
Fucking Fiesta every day over that motherfucker. Oh, somebody graduated? Fiesta. Up you New car? Fiesta.
Anyway.
If you not give him a reason to riot, I'll thank you.
Oh, by the way, call conscious. I told somebody your borrowed car riot story, and they almost pissed themselves in the bar. It was pretty funny.
I believe it. Fucking white people. Sorry. After all that race talk, I had to say something.
Alright, that actually goes perfectly into what I was gonna make a topic, but I actually think it's more fitting this time as a parting shot. So we're gonna go down the line and hit up everybody. What do y'all think it would take to make America happy? Just one big ass happy family. What would it fucking take?
That's never gonna happen, brother.
That's not what I said, man. We're in a fantasy land where what you think will make America perfect will make it perfect. What do you think will make America happy there, Puppet Master?
You have to come back to me because I got all kinds of crazy things in my head.
Fair enough. What about you there, Alone in the Dark? What do you think would make America happy?
It's easy, man. It's easy. It'll make everybody happy, okay?
Legalize cocaine.
Women need to stop thinking that their fucking pussies is some fucking crazy trophy to be had. You girls want to go out and fuck, get out and fuck, and there's guys waiting for you, okay? Stupid fucking bullshit, childish bullshit. Oh, I want to wait for a relationship or anything like that. Take your fucking pills, make him wear a condom, get out there and fuck. Everybody's gonna be happy. These dudes are going to be happier. If you're a fucking lesbian, these girls are all going to be happier.
I think we just went off air.
No, we're still on. We're still on.
I mean, it's true. And I think that's a big thing that's holding women back is them not being in control of their own sexuality. They think that you have to go through this list of this checklist. You know, is he a nice guy? You know, is he fucking blah, blah, blah? Did he do this? Did he open my door? Just get out there and fuck somebody, okay? Not a big deal. Quit making it a big deal, and everybody be fucking happy. That's
You
mine.
know what's that kind of ruins it because you took mine anyway. But what about you there, Cole Constance? You got anything you think that make happy aside from where the bitch is at?
Yeah, if black people go back to Africa, then they're making
Oh
America
Jesus!
very happy.
That was
Wow.
unnecessary.
I'm just gonna be honest. I believe if all black people died, I believe white America, well, America, but
Jesus!
white America,
Sorry.
damn sure ain't black America. We did build a shit, but not off of, thanks to Dave's ancestors for selling us and shit like that. But all in all, I believe if every black person was to just be wiped off the face of the earth, I believe America would be so much happier. They
What
fuck
was
around, let the Mexicans through.
what was that old racist joke? They came up to there's a Mexican, a black guy, and a white guy on a beach, and God comes up to the I think it was in Pulp Fiction. God comes up to the Mexican and says, "What do you want that would make you happiest, my son?" And the Mexican goes, "I want to be back in my home country." And poof, he's back in Mexico. And then he goes to the black guy, "What would make you most happiest, my son?" And he goes, I would love to be back on the home country." And poof, he's back in Africa. And they go to the white guy and they go, "What would make you happiest, my son?" And the white guy goes, "You mean the Mexican and the blacks are out of here?" Like, yeah. Well, I'll have a
Shit.
Coke then.
Shit, I'm good.
I'm be honest with you. You tell us a goddamn movie. Anybody wishing to go back to Africa? It's fucking retarded.
Yeah, they're mad dumb. Mad dumb.
Thank you. Yeah,
I know I'm here.
I appreciate you guys for selling this. However, the last thing I hate doing is going to your family cookouts and them motherfuckers being like, "You're not a real African." Well, we're African if you sold us.
Look,
we're African Americans, not Africans. Your fault.
look, cold conscious. Y'all can't go back to Africa because that will not fix America. All right.
Oh, yeah,
Show me one black man that can survive without hating somebody.
that can survive without hating somebody?
No, that can survive without hating somebody.
Without hating somebody.
Without.
Jesse Jackson. No.
Jesse Jackson would literally drop dead if every white man was not in this country.
Oh yeah, Jesse be out of business.
I bet you Jesse doesn't eat, man. He just turns on Fox News and absorbs.
Because let's be honest, Jesse Jackson got Martin Luther King killed. Let's be honest. Can't be honest. That motherfucker was really going after Jesse Jackson. Bop! Damn, I know who that is.
I was reading
Jesse
that.
Jackson.
Oh Christ!
That's a number. Now I have not verified these numbers. Okay.
Oh Christ!
Back up.
Here it is. Oh, was it up? Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
My bad.
Read them numbers.
Here's what it says. Now I can't verify these, so I don't know if they're accurate. If all black people suddenly left America, keep in mind blacks only make up 13% of the U.S. population. The prison population would go down by 37%. There would be almost 50% less gang members. Rape would go down significantly. Overweight and obesity percentage would go down by 10%. Average IQ would go up 7 points. The USA tied with third with Japan.
I mean, shit.
SAT scores would go up by about 100 points.
Yes.
Scores would go by 5.5 points. AIDS and HIV would go down by over 67%.
I mean, yeah, black people know what condoms are, but
Anyways, it keeps going on like this. So there's some people who did the math.
Where did you get this? Where is this?
This is fucking the political channel on 4chan. Now, if you know what 4chan is,
Jesus.
terrifying place. So don't.
Oh, on the opposite, go. 4chan, I'm gonna tell you what, man. I consider myself a pretty thick-skinned black guy. I can take a racist joke, and 4chan made me log off of the internet for a couple of days. Man. You guys are talking to an individual who's more than willing to call the KKK voicemail every couple of months just to catch up on the newsletter. But nah, 4chan put me out for a day. That thing is intense. The hate is so pure and undiluted.
What is that, 4chan?
Oh my God. I don't know if you want to do 4chan right now, man, Puppet Master. Especially you. 4chan might either be the greatest place you've ever been or the worst place you've ever been. I don't know which.
Oh man, it will always be the
Everything is great in my mind. It is. It
You
is.
think that until they
It's
start
when-
mocking people in your profession. Then it'll get a little personal.
No, I'm okay with that because I realize at the end of the day, without me, they would be a dead motherfucker.
Yeah, all that protecting our freedoms you guys have been doing.
Anyways, where was I at?
If we
So-
weren't here, if the threat of us being here wasn't there, trust me, we would have been overran.
So one more time there,
The coast.
Puppet Master. Do you have anything that would make America happy before we shut this down?
Get rid of political parties completely.
I can back that up.
I think eliminating political parties and going off a popular vote for everything would be a golden opportunity for this country to progress.
That's good. That's something.
Can't argue with that. I mean, if it works for American Idol and The Voice, it's gotta work for us, right? Right? I mean, damn, they've been successful.
They've been around almost as long as Obama.
Shah. Darkness. Darkness.
Yeah, so somebody's going to have to explain to me what a condom is after this, because I...
Google.
It's what you use.
It's a balloon. It's a balloon.
Gotcha.
What you want is here's the keywords. Don't listen to these white people. Lambskin.
Lambskin. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
go ahead and do that.
I
Go ahead and do that. Just realize that that's 2% less effective than latex.
Them's is just numbers, man. You gonna trust numbers or facts?
I'm going to
No,
trust
it's-
myself of not... Yeah.
You know what else is just numbers? The child support.
Point. All right, man. All right. Yeah, let's wrap this thing down.
All right.
Oh my.
All right. So this has been Dare to Disagree, and I've been your host / not host, Jonathan Esther.
Is that a fox? Oh my bad, I was on 4chan. Yeah, it's been a long start. Saying, yeah, you're good. I mean, I'm good. You guys have a wonderful night.
Okay, this is
Look at him drinking that green juice.
this is Pub Master, and I'll tell you, my head hurts, and I don't know if it's because I laughed too fucking hard or because the conversation got too intense. But so, I love you, America. I do. I do. From the bottom of my heart, I love you.
I wish I could show you guys the trucker hat I got on right now. It's good time.
Where the hoes at?
Hey, me, what you gonna do?
Where the
Anyway,
hoes at?
it's been the show.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in, Merca. Sorry about last week. We'll try not to do it next week.
Yeah, my bad.
Actually, we're going to do it. The
All right.
fuck?
We're just not.